Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. We've been looking at the issue of youth taking over from the present leadership of the country and seeing how they can take us from where we are to where we want to be. I know you also at home have your views. You can send your views and your comments, your contributions, of course, using the hashtag #AreWe, the Turning Point Generation. However, we're now joined by Chude Jideonwo. Chude, thanks for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me. I had fun.
Chude, I mean, your book is it's asking a thought-provoking question. I would want to put that question back to you. Are we the turning point generation?
Well, thankfully, at this point, I'm a pro at answering that question. Because, well, I don't know. You know, like I always say, to be presumptuous of me to think that I can answer that question on behalf of my generation. You know, I don't know if we will be the turning point generation. I know that we can be. I know that we should be, but where we will be will depend on the collectivity of our seriousness in changing the country. Are we able to get enough of our numbers who will focus on solving our country's problems until they're actually solved? And we have as many of us who will tackle these issues from our different sectors with integrity and effectiveness. It's only us together that can answer that question.
All right, so looking at the whole issue now, I mean, we're being termed, or certainly, I mean, there's this notion that, you know, the youths presently are children of anger from some quarters. Of course, not a general perception. Do you think anger will move us from where we are?
Well, first, there's an article here called Anger is Good. There's another article called The Courage to be Reasonable. So I tackle the anger issue from two angles. And I say anger is good. You know, like, you know, people say children are children. Okay, what did you expect them to be? Children of joy? You know, there is no indices of good governance or a better life, or even the march towards meeting the Millennium Development Goals that expire next year. There are very few indices that we are top of the rank on. You know, we have an education system that exists in its ruts. You know, we have a healthcare system that continues to get worse despite how many individual machines they announce that they've bought. We have corruption in the oil sector that threatens to cripple us. You know, we have income inequality keeps increasing despite the fact that GDP has been rebased. So there is nothing there's almost nothing in the country that should make young people excited. Therefore, if they were not angry about the state of the nation, there's something will seriously be wrong with them. The question is, is it anger? The issue is anger alone cannot solve the problem, but anger is quite a good foundation for where we see ourselves.
So what should propel this movement?
Anger should propel the movement, but the movement should focus on constructive solutions. Those of us who are in different sectors of the Nigerian society should begin to acquire the knowledge and the experience that we need to be able to tackle those issues with integrity. So if you are in the health sector, you want to be able to understand keenly what is the character of the corruption that is stopping medical equipment from arriving at their destinations. What are the bottlenecks stopping medicines and immunization and all of that from getting to rural communities? You want to understand that so that when you bring your passion or your sense of freshness, you're able to inspire enough people like you to gather together to solve those problems. You know, so, but you must first be angry about them. You must first be disappointed in the lack of present success. You must first be angry about the fact that successive generations before you have failed. You must be curious as to why they have failed. Then you must be focused on being different from those before you. And you must be able to convince as many people who are like you to join you to solve that problem. You know, in that respect, anger can now be the fuel to your fire.
So looking at the fact that, you know, a lot of people have this notion, you know, they have divergent views about the question your book is asking. You know, you just made mention of bringing people of like mind. How do you convince the others to join this movement?
Well, I know two effective ways of convincing people, and that's one of the things that's lacking in youth engagement and in online engagement, which is knowledge, which is basically understanding what you are talking about before you talk about it. Before you engage, talk about oil accountability, you must understand the specifics of the corruption in that sector. Before you talk about bring back our girls and the failure of the government to find these girls after 47 days, you must understand the peculiarities of the circumstances that led Goodluck Jonathan not to speak about this matter for 2 weeks. When you are able to convince people by the power of your facts and the strength, you know, of your logic, then they are more likely to follow you. Second is if your life in itself is inspirational if you are living what you are talking about. If people look at you and see that you represent the values that you speak about so vocally, they are most likely to follow you. Now, both of them alone cannot solve that problem. You know, it's not a simple process. But when you understand that it's not easy to convince people to follow you, then you understand the imperative of staying on them, continuing to convince them, continuing to remind them until they believe in what you are saying. So it's not an easy process, but nobody said that change was easy.
Just in wrapping up this conversation, how have you done all these things you just said?
I mean, I'd like to leave other people to judge my work, but but there's plenty to judge on. People can judge the work that the Future Project has done in empowering young people across 26 states. People can judge the impact of the Future Awards in the past 9 years. This is the 9th year. People can judge Enough is Enough Nigeria, which myself and my friends founded in 2000, and what it has done with elections, with Occupy Nigeria, Bring Back Our Girls. So there is plenty that I have tried to do to walk the talk, and it's now left to people to see whether those are enough to convince them to join the things that we're talking about and focus on transforming the country until we achieve some success.
Chude, thanks for coming on the program, sharing your thoughts on how you think we are the turning point generation that will move the country from where we are to where we ought to be.
Thanks for having me on.
Sure. Well, there you go. You heard it from Chude and you heard it from those on the online platform. Are we the turning point generation? Time will tell. For now, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the comments you've been sending through our social media platforms before reviewing the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube channel for the past week. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Every day you invite us to your home. Now we invite you to our homepage. Join Channels TV on social media. Hang out with us on Google Plus/Channels Television. Follow us on Twitter.com/Channels TV_NG. Friend us on Facebook.com/Channels Forum. And don't forget to like our page. That's not all. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. YouTube.com/Channels Web to get constant video updates on news and events in Nigeria and around the world. ChannelsTV.com. The news at your fingertips.
I'm sure your doubts have been cleared. If not, you can watch both conversations on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Channels Web, or our website, channelstv.com. As a social media powered program, we do appreciate your comments on our platforms. Let's take a look at some of them. At number 5, the video of a baby factory in Imo tops the most viewed videos list in the past week.
I didn't know that the baby would be sold out. So on 24th of November 2013, I gave birth to a bouncing baby girl that was promised to be given 100,000 naira.
Don't worry.
Bobby continues to serenade YouTube visitors with his rib-cracking jokes, sharing the Vanguard Man of the Year award. The video comes in at number 4.
It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes I dey wish make God just scatter everything. take everybody destiny from them. Come scatter them for ground, say make we start again. Dangote go define in destiny. No, say I don't match them. I don't match them for ground like this.
The gruesome bombing that left 46 people dead at the Jos Central Market comes in at number 3.
From the United States of America.
In second is the video of the federal government agreeing to accept the help offered by the United States to save the abducted Chibok girls.
The offer from President Barack Obama, which was conveyed to President Jonathan by the United States Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry, in a telephone conversation which began around 3:20 p.m. today, includes the deployment of U.S. security personnel and assets to work with their Nigerian counterparts in the search and rescue operation.
While topping the list is the video of some of the girls abducted by Boko Haram sharing their experiences after they escaped from their captors. There you go, the top 5 videos on our YouTube channel for the past week and the comments received on our social media platforms. Nigeria is now ripe for the youths to provide a purposeful, intelligent and visionary leadership, and from both earlier discussions, the onus lies on the youths to make themselves available for leadership positions and responsibilities to put an end to accidental leadership that relies on luck, wishful thinking and lazy prayers if they must get us out of this conundrum. That's where the bus stops on this edition of the program, but let's continue the discussion online. Follow me on Twitter at Victor_MBIDI and the other social media addresses showing on your screen. Thanks for watching and see you next week. I am Victor Matthias.